Welcome folks to Indosphere Media. Turkey bought Russia's deadly S-400 air defense system, got kicked out of the F-35 stealth fighter program, lost billions of dollars, and now, after years of confrontation with the United States, everything could be changing. Is Turkey finally preparing to dump the S-400? Will Donald Trump allow Ankara back into the F-35 program? And why are Israel and Greece desperately trying to stop the deal? Let's find out. Back in 2017, Turkey signed a deal with Russia to purchase 4 batteries of the S-400 air defense system. Ankara argued that it urgently needed a long-range missile shield because NATO allies had either delayed or refused to sell Patriot systems with technology transfer. When the first S-400 batteries arrived in 2019, Washington reacted immediately. Under the Caatsa sanctions law, the United States removed Turkey from the F-35 fighter jet program, canceled the delivery of over 100 F-35s, and imposed sanctions on Turkey's defense industry. The biggest concern was that operating Russian S-400 radars alongside the F-35 could expose sensitive stealth data to Moscow. Ironically, despite paying billions of dollars for the S-400, Turkey never fully activated the system. Instead, it kept the batteries largely inactive, hoping that one day it could repair relations with Washington and return to the F-35 program. Now, 6 years later, that strategy may finally be paying off. Turkey is building an ambitious nationwide air defense network called Steel Dome, a multi-layered, AI-powered shield that will integrate radars, missiles, and command systems into a single network. But here's the surprising part. The Russian S-400 has no role in this future defense architecture. Instead, Turkey is openly exploring NATO-compatible systems, such as the American Patriot and the Franco-Italian SAMP/T missile defense system. Defense Minister Yasar Güler recently confirmed that Ankara is considering every option that includes technology transfer, joint production, and long-term cooperation with NATO allies. According to Reuters, France has also softened its opposition to selling the SAMP/T to Turkey after diplomatic talks involving French President Emmanuel Macron and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. All signs indicate that Ankara is quietly moving away from the Russian S-400. But what happens to the missiles Turkey already owns? Selling them isn't simple. The original contract reportedly prevents Turkey from transferring the system to another country without Russian approval. Some former Turkish officials suggested selling the S-400 to a third nation, but legally that appears almost impossible. That leaves Ankara with only a few options: keep the system permanently inactive, place it in storage, or eventually dismantle it as part of a broader agreement with Washington. And this is where Donald Trump enters the picture. Trump has recently hinted that the United States is willing to reconsider Turkey's return to the F-35 program if the S-400 issue is permanently resolved. He even suggested that sanctions imposed under Caatsa could be removed, saying America does not want to sanction its friends. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan also sounded optimistic after meeting Trump, saying he believes a positive decision on the F-35 could emerge. If that happens, it would mark one of the biggest reversals in recent NATO history. However, not everyone supports the idea. Israel has strongly opposed any sale of F-35 fighter jets to Turkey. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned that providing Turkey with 5th-generation stealth fighters would upset the military balance in the Middle East and threaten Israel's long-standing qualitative military edge. Greece has also expressed concerns, fearing that Turkish F-35s would dramatically shift the balance of power in the Eastern Mediterranean. Erdogan dismissed both objections, saying such criticism has no place in Turkey's decision-making. Beyond the F-35 itself, Turkey is also seeking American F-110 jet engines, which could power its indigenous KN stealth fighter. Access to those engines would significantly accelerate Turkey's ambition to become one of the few countries capable of producing its own 5th-generation fighter aircraft. So, what does all of this mean? Turkey appears to be making a strategic choice. Rather than relying on Russian weapons, Ankara seems increasingly willing to return to the NATO defense ecosystem if that means regaining access to advanced Western technology, stealth fighters, and future defense cooperation. Whether that requires permanently abandoning the S-400 remains the biggest unanswered question. The coming months could determine whether Turkey once again flies the world's most advanced fighter or remains outside the F-35 program indefinitely. So, do you think the United States should allow Turkey back into the F-35 program after the S-400 controversy? Or has too much trust already been lost? Let us know your opinion in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Indosphere Media for more defense and geopolitical analysis. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.